Good evening, everybody. Happy Tuesday. A little bit late. Welcome, everybody, to the Erasmo Castro show. Uh, I'm not sure exactly where you're watching, but if you are on the Erasmo Castro pages, one of the few, go to the Frankie Olivo page um, and watch the show there. I know I shouldn't say this, but hey, as long as you watch the show is what's important. Glad to be with y'all this evening. Currently, right now, Erasmo and the other candidates for the city commission are currently in a forum. This, to my knowledge, this was not open to the public. It was only for the police officers and their association. So, not sure at what time we might get the candidates out. I am eager to hear of how it transpired. But nonetheless, you will have me throughout the duration of tonight. We will be talking about the great flood in the city of Brownsville. It seems as if every time there is a small twinkle of rain, Brownsville flood. So we'll be talking about the flood today. And also, I want to touch a little bit on the four. So very interesting night tonight. Thank you so much for your time, for your attention. Hope to be just as good, if not better, than Erasmo is each and every night. Um, are you in Monterrey? I wish I was in Monterrey. This is Erasmo's uh, background. He loves Monterrey, loves to travel to Monterrey, to and from Monterrey. But no, I am not in Monterrey. I wish I was. The last time I went was last year. We drove actually. It's been a while. I love going downtown to La Marco Plaza in Monterrey. I still haven't done Cola de Caballo. And I think Plaza Sesamo was closed, if I'm not mistaken. I would travel a lot more to Monterrey when I was younger. Erasmo used to live over there, and my family would go and travel because of church, and then we would also make a trip out to visit and to see Erasmo. But era La Marco Plaza, yeah, La Marco Plaza, yes, downtown Monterrey, beautiful, beautiful area. Um, I just love it there. He always takes me to a coffee shop. He loves going to a coffee shop in Monterrey. It's been a while since I've gone, but now with Tesla, Erasmo and I have been talking a lot about how we can get that Monterrey money, that Monterrey uh, tourism to the city of Brownsville. As we all know, we have something in common. We have the world's richest man. He has his foot one in Monterrey and one because in Monterrey because of Tesla, they are about to create this plant, and also because of SpaceX here. Erasmo, good evening. How's it going?
It's going good, Frankie, and I appreciate you taking over the show. One of the reasons I don't know if you mentioned this. We just finished with the Brownsville Police Officer Association forum. It was a great event. A lot of people in the room, and a lot of the same concerns that we've been sharing and talking about were some of the same concerns that were being brought up. Again. So I'm very proud that they held the event, and I'm very proud that a lot of candidates went out there and spoke their piece. Uh, a couple of my opponents, John Cowan was a little bit more on the silent side, and I think what happens, Frankie, is that they have no argument. They've not been faithful to their platforms, and they've done very little for the city of Brownsville. So it was a great forum, actually, despite the fact that we didn't get a lot of questions and answers.
Now, if you could give us an insight into the scenery there. Was there a live audience? Was there only the police officers association? who was asking the questions, what candidates show up.
Oh, all the candidates showed up. Uh, the audience was mostly police officers, retired police officers. We had the firefighter union here. And we had a lot of other individuals from inside the community. So it was almost a full house today. It was a great little event. But I think some of the candidates stood out a little bit more than other candidates, but that tends to happen a lot during these. But let me say, I appreciate the fact that we did. It was the first forum that we were all in there together. Commissioner de las Chanclas was there, of course, supporting his candidates. But he was the only the only elected official there that was not sitting at the table.
I kind of lost you. I apologize. I don't know if it was just my feed or your feed. So, what was it? What was the turnout like? What were the questions? What were the main concerns?
Well, the questions and concerns are the same concerns that have been brought up for years. There was a lot of concerns in regards to their insurance. A lot of individuals, who were going to be losing their insurance after retirement, were questioning whether to stay on, with the force to continue to have that insurance. One of the biggest concerns that was shared, Frankie, was how our police officers are first responders, also the fire department. They had submitted contract. It was agreed upon. They did have the negotiations, and at the last moment, Frankie, how they had that contract pulled from under their feet, which was a big concern for a lot of police officers. Let me tell you, I've been to several of the Brownsville Police Officers Association forums. I have never heard them as passionate as they were today. I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. We have seen how they have felt the brunt of of their jobs. Brownsville is growing. We are 300,000 or close to 300,000 in population, not on paper, but we don't have the manpower sufficient enough to maintain a city the size of Brownsville. Now, besides their insurance and besides the lack of manpower, what would you say is their biggest concerns, and what would you bring to the table?
Well, and I'll share with you what I understood by their concerns, and they asked, what solutions we could bring forth that could help the situation, and again, my biggest concern, and I was able to interject the monies that were taken by the Tenasca, because again, it was money that was taken from for this one project that could have been used for the citizens of Brownsville as a whole. So a lot of it had to do with funding. We made very clear out there how important it was to place the resources in those that actually truly serve the city of Brownsville. I made mention in regards to how the city manager's office was $1.2 million. Just that one little department, $1.2 million, and they still had to hire on consultants at $2.3 million. It just made absolutely no sense. Then why hire all these consultants if we're paying such high amounts at the manager? And I use those, Frankie, as an example as to what is systematically wrong with the citizens of Brownsville. What I'm getting at is we need to trim from the top and make sure that the individuals that are at these top paying positions can actually do their job and don't have to hire a consultant at every turn. Unfortunately for us, if somebody wants to wipe their butt, they have to hire a consultant to see what toilet paper they're going to buy. And that's crazy. We've got to get the qualified individuals into the key positions that are going to make sure that we don't have to be out there spending all this money on all these consultants and compadres, because ultimately it goes to the same people. I had conversations with a lot of folks out there, and they seem to now get it and understand how spreading the wealth amongst that 1%, Frankie, has truly hurt not only our local law enforcement, our firefighters, our EMS, but the community as a whole. Mute. I think you're on mute. Oh, I
Is
can't
is
hear you.
is is this something that a question was brought up in regards to the consultants, or is this something that you have seen
Yeah.
from the outside?
Well, a question was brought up in regards to how are you going to get the resources to put back into the fire department, into police officers, and to the other needs the city has. And I said, simple. We've got to stop starting pet projects that continuously take our money. We got to stop overpaying our city managers that don't do crap. I made mention, and a lot of people were like, yes. I made mention, Frankie, to the $25,000 raise that the city manager got in the middle of a pandemic. What merited that raise? And no one could respond to the question. What merited that the city manager earned got a $25,000 raise in the middle of a pandemic? Did everybody else get an equal raise throughout the police department? And the answer was absolutely not. There's individuals that have been working for the police department for years that have not gotten a raise ever.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Did they what were the other candidates? Could you tell us, what candidates stood out more than others?
Well, of course, Erasmo Castro, because I was right spank in the middle because position is everything. Unfortunately, John was out there on the little corner, hiding away, sucking his thumb. Didn't say hardly anything. No solutions, no answering any questions, nothing. Jessica Tetro was all like, endorse me, endorse me, endorse me. For what? What have you done? You're part of the problem. So, uh, it, it- Jennifer Stanton did. That's me in the middle. That's me in the middle. Uh, Jennifer Stanton,
Hi.
she's here with me. I like Jennifer. Uh, Again, this was probably her first forum ever.
Yeah.
It was her first
And I
forum.
was talking about their retirement and how it got contracted to an individual instead of
Yes,
and the police
to
officers
one
were mad
individual,
about
and
that.
not and
Yeah.
not and not for individuals to have
They
choice.
were very happy with their retirement
I,
before, and now it's just kind of gone to crap.
Let me say, for being Jennifer Stanton's first forum, she did a lot more to said a lot more than John or Jessica put together.
What was her focal point? Did they state something? Uh,
Nothing. John said nothing. Frankie,
really?
John said nothing.
That's
Nothing.
shocking. Uh,
Nothing, Frankie. I'm not.
did the issue?
I'm not exaggerating. He gave us a little introduction, maybe 2 minutes, and that's it. We never heard from him again.
Uh,
So I don't
uh
know if they don't have the answers to respond to things, or they're just shying away from actually engaging when they know that they've screwed the city over.
I think they're just playing possum, playing dead. Why do I need to answer to these questions? And it's going to lead to more questions. So in their
Yeah,
mind, why are they going to open that can of worms? What did you say?
100%. You're on point, and I think what happens is the more they open their mouth, the bigger target they will be in regards to get hooked and getting caught, or getting caught in another one of their lies that they fermented on the city. It's a really amazing dynamic, Frankie, and I'm hoping that the people in the city of Brownsville, wise up and don't buy their bullcrap. So it's going to be interesting. I need to get off. I need to get off, Frankie. Pero can you finish it off for us? And thank you so much for being on, guys. Tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, it's going to be a hell of a show. I promise you. God bless. Thank you, Frankie.
Thanks, man. So before I was rudely interrupted by the featured host, um, I guess my internet's lagging. Something's wrong with my internet. Let me know, guys. It comes and goes. I was streaming on my page, but for whatever reason, um, it kicked me out. I moved something, and again, technology. When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, get away. Before I was really interrupted, today the city of Brownsville, it seems as if whenever there's a small trickle of water, everybody starts panicking. The streets seem to flood, and this is an issue that we've all been dealing with. I'm 36 years old, in the middle of my life, and for the past 30 plus years, it seems as if we've had the same issue over and over again regarding the flood. The city of Brownsville saw its fair share of accidents. Here we have PUB, and there was someone sent in this photo and stated, "Hey, they can't even fix their streets, much less help out help out the community." We did see several accidents on South Mose, on downtown Brownsville, throughout the whole city. It was just a chaotic day. And again, I have a joke with my friends. Whenever it rains, it seems as if Brownsville starts panicking. But I always joke and say it doesn't matter if it's sunny, if it's raining, clear skies, for whatever reason, we're not good drivers. And it also seems as if whenever it rains, we're more hell bound on flooring it even more. We're even more dangerous than we would be while we when we have a clear skies. There has been work being done to Boca Chica. My understanding was it was going to be like a drainage project. I don't know if that is tied into the cable, the BTEX fiber that is in the works. But whoever lives out here in Boca Chica Beach, by Rivera, by my area off of Minnesota, it's horrible. Whether it's 8 in the morning, lunchtime, or rush hour at 5 o'clock, that area is bad. There's a one way, but throughout Boca Chica, I don't know if y'all have noticed, they are fixing the drainage. They're fixing something, and it's just along the right side if you're going towards the airport. We would hope that the city commission would focus on our streets. One thing that bothers me is that year in and year out, election cycle through election cycle, it's always the same promises. Oh, I'm going to fix your streets. I'm going to fix. I'm going to make sure that our area sees improvement. But again, time in and time out, that's not the case. The city commission is always focused on their pet projects, unfortunately. So it's going to be interesting to note how moving forward, do we want to elect the same individuals who haven't improved our roads, haven't brought us much of anything? When you really think about it, all they focused on have been their own pet projects. But again, it's up to us, the voters, to do something about it. Good morning, good afternoon, me llamas, pero tú me entendiste, ¿verdad? Yes, of course. Whoever's watching on YouTube, I'm not sure. Let me see. I can't tell who's on YouTube right now. There's so many. Oh, yeah, I can. There's 24 people on YouTube. Hit that like button, everybody. Make a comment. The great thing about YouTube is that there is anonymity. Did I say it right? No. You can be anonymous. You could create a whatever profile that will let you comment freely. One thing that I personally witnessed when I ran for BISD was that many individuals were sharing information with me, but they would always say, "Keep this anonymous, please," or they would send in a comment or a picture. My friends always make fun of me and say, "Anonymous, please." But the good thing about YouTube, guys, is that you could comment, you could post freely without having your name show up. So if you would like, go on YouTube, create a page. That way you can voice your concerns. This is the beautiful thing about having Erasmo Castro's show twice a day. And there's many people that say, "Oh, it's too much time, it's redundant." But again, we the people, we want a platform. Why? Because when you really look at it, we don't have investigative journalism. We don't have a Brownsville Herald. We don't have a Valley Morning Star. And I hate to say this, Derek Garcia, I went to school with the guy. He's a veteran. I respect him. But we've noticed that he's more into the food for thought type of deal where he goes into restaurants and he does the Ryan Wolf thing, which it's good. It's good for us as customers to know who's keeping it clean, as the great Ryan Wolf would say. But do we really need that, ladies and gentlemen? Or do we need investigative journalism? Haven't you noticed that the PUB issue went away? It was just, oh, here's the report. Here's what Eddie Trevino took. Here's what all these consultants took. And that's it. We haven't heard about these stories. And one thing that I've noticed is that we always need to keep these stories on the forefront. Why? Because we forget. The beautiful thing about the Erasmo Castro show, Good Morning Bronzo with Franco Levo, is that we're talking about those issues that are important to you and I. The beautiful thing about having a person such as an Erasmo is that many people feed him information way before the Bronzo Herald, the Valley Morning Star posts out to the community. That's the beautiful thing. So if you're on YouTube, make sure you like that button, comment, subscribe. We're trying to do good for Bronzo. Our heart's in a good place. We need to use this platform. Everyone is welcome to come voice their opinions. That is the only way together we can make Bronzo great. Good evening, Joe. How's it going? How did you enjoy the rain? To me personally, I love the rain. I love when it's gloomy. People say it's perfect weather to make babies. If you're into that stuff, that's cool. I like to be in bed spooning, but usually sometimes alone or with a pillow because the person doesn't like me to be close. But I love this weather. To me, gloomy days, rainy days is absolutely beautiful for myself. Suri, buenas noches, ¿qué tal? No sé si te recuerdas de mí. Yo estuve en la oficina cuando usted y su colega, su compañero, fueron a la oficina de Erasmo. Mucho gusto en conocerlos. A ver cuándo nos toca otra vez. Si quieres, me avisas. Y yo, al igual, yo quiero ir a Matamoros para ver a qué te dedicas. Mr. Suri Alberto, he is a representative from Matamoros. Mr. Suri works for our type of PUB. Le estoy avisando a la comunidad de que tú trabajas para la ciudad en el departamento del agua, como nuestro PUB. Y espero que no sea como PUB, porque aquí si mencionas, en Bronx, si mencionas PUB es algo, trabaja para PUB. No, pero me dio mucho gusto conocerlo, a usted y a su compañero. Yo le voy a avisar cuando voy a Matamoros, así para que, si no estoy pidiendo mucho, ¿verdad? Para conocerlo a usted, para conocer su trabajo y Dios mediante, cuando Erasmo sea el alcalde de Bronzeville, podemos trabajar unánimes para progresar nuestra área, así como Matamoros, al igual como Brownsville. Buenas noches, Suri. Me saludos otra vez nuevamente a su compañero. Fue un gusto, un placer conocerlo, convivir, aunque sea un ratito, ¿verdad? Pero me dio gusto conocerlo en persona. Gracias por su tiempo. Thanks, my man. Can't wait to hear how it went with the Police Officers Association event. Hope someone recorded. That's the thing. I did ask Erasmo, Ms. Lamas. I did ask Erasmo to record. He did mention to me that some members of the community were going to be present, but I think it was more kind of like a closed meeting type of deal where the Police Officers Association, the fire department, our law enforcement officials, I think they preferred kind of more like a private event. That way they can, maybe voice their concerns, ask questions in a more public, private setting. Of course, we want to hear our candidates. We want to know where they stand on certain issues. As we all know, Ms. Lamas, this city is turned upside down. I'll say this. I've said this once and I'll say it again. I always think of Brownsville as being that city on the hill. It sucks for me. I hate to use this word, but it sucks for me to hear about the great things that are happening in McAllen, but McAllen shouldn't be eating our lunch. Again, we have all the great resources that we have. We have two beaches. We have a port. We have a zoo. We got so much going on. We have Matamoros. They have Reynosa, but we have so much going on for us. So I would have wanted for the community to have an insight into what these candidates offer to the citizens of Brownsville, where they stand on certain issues. And again, the hot topic, as you all know, is PUB. Where do you stand on PUB? It's apparent that certain individuals think that, John Bruzniak, well, obviously, the two candidates for mayor, for the mayoral race, they thought that John Bruzniak did nothing wrong. And this is the argument, ladies and gentlemen. I sit on the city commission, so I really have no control over John Bruzniak. But again, they failed. They failed to take action. There was an agenda item placed by Commissioner Roy de los Santos where they could have voted to have removed, I'm not sure if it's Sandra Saenz or Sandra Langley, one or both, if I'm not mistaken. And the majority of the commission said there's been nothing wrong. And that's unfortunate because Ms. Lamas and all the viewers on tonight, when you go to the Facebook page of PUB, you want to know one thing that everybody always talks about? Where's our money? Where's the 179 million? If you don't believe me, go to their page. Go on Facebook, go to the Brownsville PUB, and look at every single post that they have out there. And of course, you have our champion, you have Erasmo Castro saying, hey, where's our 179 million? But it's not just Erasmo. It's other people. It's other constituents. Some are saying, hey, y'all are quick to charge us. Y'all are quick to disconnect us. But when it's time to return our money, oh, whoa. We'll get to that later. Again, I take great pride in coming on before you because this is our platform. And this doesn't belong to me. This doesn't belong to Erasmo. He has made it very clear that this platform is for the community. Let's use this to our advantage. Let's bring, and as we all know, knowledge is power. A better informed community will make the city of Brownsville a lot better. And I'm hoping in the polls whenever we go vote. But again, we need to get our people out to vote. Not everybody goes out to vote. Presidential election, everyone goes out to vote. There's thousands of voters. But unfortunately, in a city election in late April, early May, we'll be lucky to get 10,000 voters. In a city with at least 100,000 registered voters, voter apathy. So I also, Ms. Lama, wanted to hear the forum, the debate, because we want to see where these kids lie, and that way we can inform the rest of our constituents, the rest of the community, and say, hey, this is the person you need to vote for. Why? Because he is going to fight for you. Again, in the mayoral race, we have two candidates, Ms. Lamas, two candidates that have been there for 4 years. Cowan, and another one that has been there for 12 years. Can you look me in the eye and say that their time in the city commission has brought us a better Brownsville? And the answer is no. So let's think of this as a business, ladies and gentlemen. Let's think of this. What have you done for me lately? Has Mr. Cowan improved our city? As Commissioner Tetreault in her 12-year tenure, has she brought in jobs? Has she made Brownsville a priority? Obviously, we all know the answer to that.
And I made it back to the studio, back to the office. Let me say, Frankie, it was a very, very great forum. And it was a great, great forum because something that I think that anyone could attest to, Frankie, was what was most resounding throughout the night was John Cowan's silence. He said nothing, Frankie. Nothing. And I'm not exaggerating the point. He literally said nothing. Nothing. And again, it speaks volumes because there are no answers. No hay problema. No hay problema. Ese es el Apple. He has no answers. He has no solutions. He's riding on what they've stated in regards to, well, he's ahead and he hired Pink Ape and he's got these millions of dollars to spend. It's not enough. People are pissed. And let me tell you, I worked the room. I talked to different individuals out there. Frankie, I have never seen our police officers as upset as they are now. And they have a right to be upset, Frankie. uh, our fire department, they are upset, and they have a right to be upset. And I'm glad that I think that one of the things that I received from everyone was that we know it's not your fault. We know that they were sitting there whilst they took our contract away from us. They literally, Frankie, they pulled it right from under their feet, and they know this, and they know that Jessica's been on there for 12. John has been on there for 4, and they have done nothing for our first responders except hurt them. In the same way, Frankie, that they've hurt the city of Brownsville. And I made mention in regards to all this money that is wasted on all these boards and committees. I made mention in regards to, overpaying the city manager's office with all this money that's coming in for all these consultants and all these compadres and all this other stuff that goes out there. And people understood we're getting screwed because we are getting screwed. And there's no one that knows it better than our local law enforcement.
Are are you willing to
I
are
think
you
you're on
willing to
mute.
state? Hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello?
Can you hear? Can people hear Frankie? I can't hear him.
It's you, Erasmo.
No, yeah, now I got you. Sorry.
Ah, I was like, I'm going crazy. Erasmo, are you willing to? Do you feel confident in saying that there you feel good about maybe receiving the endorsement of the association, or is this we have to give it to an incumbent because if they win, we're gonna get backlash?
Well, I think the sentiment, Frankie, right now, I think the sentiment right now is you know what you get with Cowan, you know what you get with Tetro. Yeah, it's time. And I think that that's the sentiment right now throughout them. Now, will we get the endorsement? I'm will always be skeptical, Frankie, but there's a lot more hope now that I've had the opportunity to have conversations with the folks there. There's a lot more hope right now than I had before going into this forum, because I think they understand that the root of the problem, Frankie, is not the lack of resources. It's not the city of Brownsville. It's the leadership that we've had that has continuously pocketed, uh, taken, stolen the resources that should go to the people of Brownsville. And what these individuals neglected, Frankie, was to understand and comprehend that our police officers, they make up part of the city of Brownsville. But one of the things that a couple of police officers came up to me and mentioned, they said, Erasmo, we listen to you. We hear you. Don't like you, but you're right. You know? And that I is a huge compliment, Frankie, because at the end of the day, I don't care if people don't like me because I'm loud, because I'm opinionated, because I cheese me. I don't care. You could hate me for that. I just want you to hate the fact that they took from you, they stole from you more than Erasmo being so handsome, Erasmo being so popular, Erasmo being an hocicón.
Did I lose you? Okay. I thought it was mine. Yeah.
No, it was mine. I apologize.
Rookie.
Well, uh, I'm getting some technical work done here at the studio, so there's a little bit of back and forth.
Well, and it's true. It's important for not just the Brownsville Police's law enforcement, firefighters, police officers, not just important for them, but for the citizens of Brownsville.
Yes.
Erasmo, when we were off, when you were off, I was talking about how what changes have we seen since these candidates have been in office? We haven't seen much change. So, are you okay with having lackluster results, of having our streets not getting the maintenance, the upgrade that we so desperately need? Or are we okay with being mediocre? And again, you said it best. We already know what we have with them. Why not vote for somebody that's going to be your champion? Why not vote for somebody that is really going to ruffle their feathers, open the books, and bring back to the people what they want, the 179 million from PUB? That's one of the big questions. And Asmo, could you let us know, besides PUB, what other question was of major concern to them?
Again, a lot of the police officers, was kind of a different forum, Frankie, than anyone that they've had before or anyone that I've gone to, because in this meet and greet, Frankie, officers were verbalizing their frustration, Frankie. Individuals that have been working for the force for 20, 30 years, Frankie, upset because their benefit package. And one of the things that resounded tonight, Frankie, was, our pay wasn't all that great, Frankie, but the benefits, they compensated for it. So, we held on, we're just finding it so hard to continue to hold on now, because you've taken everything from us. And they promised them, Frankie, so much. And they delivered nothing, Frankie. Nothing. Because even that small little increase that they got, Frankie, at the end of the day, actually hurt them, because it's the same thing that happens with the taxes. And I didn't have the opportunity to delve into it because of the lack of time. But it's something that we'll talk about tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock in the morning. But it's the same thing with when they say, hey, we're going to lower your taxes. We lowered your taxes. But then they screw you with the appraisal. Does that make sense? Well, in this case, Frankie, they said, we're going to give you a raise. And they got them like a quarter raise. But then they took away their dental insurance. And now they have to pay for their dental insurance from their pay, from their pocket. So what raise? You're ultimately not taking anything home, because you're putting it back into the system that is screwing you over. Because I guarantee you, Frankie, they are screwing us over in regards to the insurance, the retirement that our local law enforcement are getting, and their benefits.
Get off the Wi-Fi. You're lagging. But what changes could we make? Would you dare say that we are too top heavy? Just how we made the argument that BISD is too top heavy. That at the city we're paying what, close to $1 million, or is it 750?
$1 million.
What changes could we make, or what can we cut off at Osmo to create more jobs?
Well, again, to start off with, Frankie, we need to thin out that city manager's office. Very simple. And put individuals in there and actually know what they're doing, so we don't have to go out there and pay $2.3 million in consultant fees, Frankie. Can you imagine what those $2.3 million could have been used for here in the city of Brownsville? My comment to them was, think of this. In 10 years, they took 179 million of our dollars. That's $20 million a year, Frankie. What could those $20 million a year, what could they have gone to, Frankie? Where could they have been placed that they would have actually benefited Brownsville as a whole and not the compadres here in the city. And that was my argument to them. I said, guys, the way that we start putting money into your pockets, into your retirement, into your benefits, is by taking it out of the pocket of the politicos that are the ones that ultimately make the decisions to where they put it. And I made mention, Frankie, I talked about the different boards and committees. And I said, I challenge everyone here to look at all these boards and committees. It's the same people. And the officers know this. It's the same people that go from GBEC, the PUB to BCIC. It's the same people. So how do we expect a different solution when we've got the same people going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, Frankie?
And that's a good that's a good platform to have it, Asmo. Let's not spend money on consultants, because we have seen how Helen Ramirez at one time, she was consulting pretty much everybody for every job when she was
everything
for when she was at BCIC or GBIC, if I'm not mistaken. She was hiring consultants, and that's where we need to go. We need to stop spending money on our friends, because again, we all know the ones getting those nice contracts, those nice consulting gigs are political favors.
Let me. Not even joking. If you had anyone, Frankie, if you had anyone that you know there tonight, ask them, literally in a fetal position, Frankie. I mean, doesn't even come out of the picture, Frankie, because he's out there crouched out, said nothing, Frankie, nothing. And I wish that Susan would come on. She was there. I'll probably invite Kathy Presas, but let me tell you, said nothing. Of course, Erasmo Castro was the most vocal. Kathy Presas was very vocal. Susan was vocal. And I will say, Linda Macias, gave a very, very good speaker. But there was no one, Frankie, that outshined like Erasmo Castro. Erasmo Castro kicked butt tonight.
What were some of the topics or focal points for Ms. Linda Macias?
Linda Macias basically stated that she had been constantly out there in the community, how she'd been out there, in serving the community. And again, for anyone out there that's interested in the assistance and the help and everything else, made mention. I think a couple of the individuals, were a little bit on her opponents were more vocal in regards to, we're tired of these individuals that are always on these boards and committees that continue to screw us over. So I think no one had an answer for that. And I think it's something that now that the police officers, as they're starting to understand and comprehend.
Erasmo, Romeo has a question for you. What is the difference between politicos and you?
Easy. I don't have anything to lie about. I am transparent. I will tell it to you like it is. We don't always, hey Raimundo, we don't always have to agree. And a lot of times, most times, we probably won't agree. But at least you know exactly what you get with an Erasmo Castro. We have absolutely no clue what we get with John Cowan, except he's a horrible commissioner, because he said nothing in regards to NASCA, in regards to John Brusiak, in regards to Trey Mendes. They've said nothing. Nothing. Jessica Tetrola, the same thing. Again, what differentiates me from them is I don't have a reason to lie. I don't have a reason to pander for your vote. I don't have to go out there and pretend that, hey, I'm with you guys. I'm one of you all. I don't have to pretend, because I am. Erasmo Castro is genuine. Erasmo Castro is Erasmo Castro. I don't fake crap. I tell you like it is. I very, very opinionated. I don't go to
and when you say that, Erasmo, when you don't pander, is there someone in particular that you want to talk about, Erasmo?
Let me say, guys, anyone that believes that this picture and this statement reflects on a John Cowan, who attends loterias down southmost every weekend, you're mistaken. In no way, shape, or form has John Cowan spent 2 hours down southmost unless he's out there pandering for your vote. He doesn't play loteria. He doesn't play loteria in southmost. He doesn't play lotería acá en las jacarandas, acá donde viven los ricos. He doesn't play loteria at all. Why put yourself in a position, Frankie, in a position to be easily be called out? I mean, look, la tarjeta que está allí es el diablo, and he's putting a coin en el mundo. Doesn't even know the difference between el diablo y el mundo. It's just a picture moment. Look, the cards are right there. Someone tell him that el mundo no es el diablo.
I wonder what conversations he had, Erasmo, with those constituents there. What could he have possibly have told them?
Buena con el gallo? I mean, he has nothing to say. Because what happens, Frankie, look, you and I could sit here and have conversations because, we've got stuff to talk about. We have stuff in common. Like we sit and, we talk about my sister. We talk about dad. We talk about politics. We've got things in common, Frankie. We talk about how you need to bring back my car. We have things in common. And we could speak for hours. When you're with someone that you have nothing in common to, Frankie, let me tell you, you struggle to figure out what to say. He has absolutely no connection to my people down southmost. And then someone said, well, that's what you do the right thing. Someone came on my page, some crazy lady. I said, give me one example of Erasmo Castro pandering for votes. Just one example. Never done it. Because what you see is what you get. And I can have conversations with the elite here in Brownsville, and I could have conversations with my people down southmost because I am one of them. And I don't refer to the socioeconomic status. I'm a person of Brownsville.
Could you give the community a little bit of insight, Erasmo, into how Miss Susan Rubalcaba and Katy Presas did in the forum?
Susan did great. Made mention of her experience with her home health agency. Tino Villarreal did well. Tino Villarreal went out there, and one of the things that you could appreciate with Tino Villarreal, despite the fact that he may not have a clear understanding in regards to how the city works, but he goes, I can put a team together because I'm an athletic director, and this is why I specialize in. If I could bring together junior high kids, I can bring everybody else together. And I understand. I understand the analogy point that he was trying to make. It missed the mark a little bit. But I like Tino. Tino sat next to me. Again, he's a friend. Susan was more relatable in regards to I am here with you. Katy Presas, very, very vocal. They gave us 2 minutes to respond to a question. And of course, Katy Presas, in true Katy Presas form, she took like 6. But one of the things that I think people can appreciate from Katy Presas is her fierceness, her gotta get something done. And I think if I read the room correctly, Frankie, I think they want go-getters. They want people, Frankie, that are going to overturn the tables, Frankie. I think that they want someone to shake the system up. And I think that they've realized, I'm praying that they realize that someone is Erasmo Castro. And that is part of the sentiment, incredibly, that I got today. So if I am endorsed by the Brownsville Police Department, by the Brownsville Fire Department, Frankie, it's going to send shockwaves throughout this damn city, Frankie. Shockwaves. Because It's gotta be unexpected.
And when you got off the air momentarily, one thing that I did mention was if you go to the Brownsville PUB Facebook page, it's not just Erasmo Castro saying, "Hey, give me back my 179." It's constituents. They're saying, "Hey, y'all are so quick to cut off my lie. Y'all are so quick to," but when it comes to returning our money, and I hope, Erasmo, that not only the Brownsville's police officer firefighter association vote your way, but also the community. Again, are you satisfied with them stealing the money, with them taking the money? That is a hot topic, Erasmo, and I really hope that the voters come out um, and show them with their vote that we're not satisfied with the current administration.
I agree, Frankie. And call me crazy. I just feel that it's not a sentiment that's only limited, Frankie, to the not limited to the people that are commenting on the PUB post, Frankie. I felt that sentiment tonight in that room. People are tired, frustrated, and people who, again, said Erasmo, not your greatest fan, but I'm voting for you. I heard that today, and I said, never did I expect to hear those words from a couple of the individuals that mentioned that tonight.
And that's very telling because that shows you that they're tired, that they're tired of the same old same. They're tired of being screwed over. And again, you might not like Erasmo's rhetoric, his approach, his delivery. But at the end of the day, you know he's going to fight. You know he's going to be vocal. You know he's going to give the people what they, what we deserve. And that's
Always.
something that's something, Erasmo, that we can't say with certainty with this city commission.
And I think, Frankie, again, I'm not trying to put words in the mouths of these individuals. I'm not trying to second guess what's going to happen. But the sentiment, Frankie, the sentiment was there and it was palpable and you could feel it. And it's the same sentiment that I'm receiving everywhere I go in the city of Brownsville. I said, that's what we're done. We've had enough. We're voting your way.
Gayla says, how and when will you know who
I
gets the
think
endorsement?
that we should find out next week. Hopefully soon. They are going to meet and talk and discuss. I hope soon. It's going to be very, very, very interesting. Again, I will be very honored, a little bit shocked, but honored to be endorsed if they so choose that way.
How much will you raise minimum wage for city employees?
Very simple, very simple, Mary. We need to provide something that is close to livable wage out here. And again, the big question is, where are we going to find the resources to provide those decent raises out there? And they're going to come from stop going into the pocket of the politicos and start bringing those monies and those resources back to the people of Brownsville where they truly, truly belong.
I'll be heckling him. I'm guessing this is he's referring to John Cowan. If he was a comedian,
I'd be heckling him if he was a comedian. I can't hear you, Frankie.
Oh,
Is it me or you?
it's you.
I don't think it's me, bro.
It's you, bro.
Ah, yes, it was me. Crazy. My bad.
Rookie.
Rookie.
Teresa says, Erasmo, you are glowing. Yes, the momentum is there. Grab it, run with it. Positive vibes.
Guys, yes. And I agree. And look, guys, I'm pumped after I'm not even joking, guys. I am pumped after this forum. And this is one of the reasons why these forums are so important to me, because I excel in them. And again, the people that were there will tell you, no one like Erasmo Castro in a forum. I excelled in it. And I felt the energy in that room. And they were all saying, Erasmo Castro is the way we need to go. Isn't that crazy? So we'll see. And if this happens, folks, if we do get the endorsement, I'll be ecstatic and very grateful. But we need to truly organize, because it should be the push that throws us over to the point that we will win this race, guys. We will win this race. I got a message from someone who has actually run some polls out here, and they are saying that we're possibly going to be in right now in second place. I'm thinking that they're not counting on other factors in there, but folks, I don't want to be in second place going into this May 6th. Guys, I want to be on first place, and I want to win this race without a runoff, guys. And that could only happen, people of Brownsville, is if you all, everyone watching tonight, guys, everyone out there in the city of Brownsville actually not only comes out to vote, but starts to promote and energize other individuals to also please come out and vote. It's the only way that we are going to be successful. It's the only way that this is going to work. So we're patient, we'll wait, we'll see. I'm hopeful. If we get this endorsement and the firefighters endorsement, or either one, either or, it's a new game in the city of Brownsville, guys. And it's going to send a resounding message to every single politico out there. No more, no más. People are tired.
Ashley wants to know if you're going to name me chief of staff.
When you become mayor, will you need a chief? Maybe. That'd be a good.
If you lead a march, do you think people will come out and protest at Erasmo?
No. And look, this happens because there's a lot of folks out there, guys, that just don't want to get out of that little comfort box, guys. We need to. And that could happen is if we all come together. You know? Yeah? Huh? Yeah. All right, Frankie, I need to go.
Last question. Last question.
Last question.
Will you fire those politicos who believe in corruption?
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. Anyone out there that's out there supporting the corrupt political machine that exists here, you better believe you're going to get their butts kicked out. Out. Fuera. Gone. Promise you. Not a doubt. I don't care what I have to do. Overturn the tables if I have to. Thanks, Frankie, for
Good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
God bless.
Make sure you come out and vote. We're less than 30 days away at Erasmo from early voting. We're 30 days away actually from early voting.
Yes.
Election day is March 6th. Erasmo Castro is the only choice for mayor for the city of Brownsville. Thank you, everybody, for your time. Have a good night.